Now, the other ruler that we want to look at is Herod Antipas. All right? And his reign is going to be from 4 BC to 39 AD. And he's called Herod.
4 AD to 39 AD?
To 39 AD. Herod Antipas. Now, he is going to be in trouble with John the Baptist, because John the Baptist is going to criticize him for his marriage. And of course, John is going to lose his head for it. And we see that in Matthew chapter 6, verse 14 to 29. So Herod Antipas was also important in our understanding of the background to the New Testament. Now, interestingly, Jesus describes him as a fox. Okay, Jesus says, tell that fox Herod. And that's recorded for us in Luke chapter 13, verse 31 to 33. Chapter 9, still in Luke chapter 9, verse 7 to 9. And chapter 23, verse 6 to 12. The fact that Jesus calls him a fox suggests the kind of character that he was. Sly and cunning and deceitful and all that kind of a thing, all right? So Jesus calls him a fox. Tell that fox Herod. The other Roman emperor, ruler that we want to look at is the famous Pontius Pilate, all right? Pontius Pilate, all right? And he was the procurator who ruled over Judea.
He got in trouble, didn't he?
Yeah, he's going to get in trouble with Rome because he could not control his province.
He couldn't keep the peace.
He couldn't keep the peace. And of course, the Jews sort of rubbed it in when they said, if you let him go, you're no friend of Caesar. And so once that is called to Pontius's mind, he is going to recognize that, look here, my days are numbered. So, but he was the governor and he was representing Caesar at the time. Now, it was Pontius Pilate who sentenced Jesus to be crucified, and all of the Gospels record that. So that's recorded for us in Matthew 27, verse 1 to 6. It's in Mark 15, 1 to 15. It's in Luke 23, and John records it in chapter 18 through chapter 18, 28 through to chapter 19 and verse 26. So the idea of Pontius Pilate and what he was doing and what he could not do and the trouble that he had. All right. So if we're going to understand the New Testament, then we need to understand that political background. And that's important, as I said. Now, the other context I want to look at is the philosophical context. So this philosophical context also is going to impact on the New Testament as we are going to look at it. All right? So there were a number of philosophical ideas that were floating around at the time. So there were philosophical schools, and some of them you will automatically recognize and bear in mind. One is the Epicureans, or Epicureanism, and it's Epicureanism, the Epicureans. Then we had Stoicism, or the Stoics. There was also cynicism as a philosophical idea that was popular during the time of the writing of the New Testament. So those philosophical ideas played a part. The other one that we want to look at is the mystery religions. The mystery religions being a merger of paganism and some amount of Jewish culture, Jewish ideas. So that kind of philosophical context is also going to shape our understanding of the New Testament. the mystery religions. Then, number 3, there is animism, 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 where it is the idea that God is to be identified in things. That tree is God, that desk is God, that kind of a thing. And there's augury, witchcraft, AUGURY, and supernaturalism. So there is the philosophical schools, there's the mystery religions, there is animism, augury, and supernaturalism. But this one will jump out at you. There was also Gnosticism. And the Gnostics believing that they had this special revelation and this going after knowledge. All right? So those philosophical ideas are going to impact on the New Testament context. So let's now look at some of what the Epicureans believe, or what is involved in Epicureanism. Now, this philosophy originated with Epicurus, and if we want a date on him, it's 341 to 270 BC. All right? Now, if you want to come in to ask questions anytime, you can stop me. All right? So in Epicureanism, what it did as a philosophy, it allowed for free will. It emphasized the idea of free will. All right? Epicureanism was not only big on free will, but it also questioned the role of fate, F-A-T-E. It questioned the role of the gods and the role that the gods had in human life. So they were big on free will. They questioned the role of fate, meaning does fate decide or determine our human lives or our human existence? I can't help but remembering Shakespeare, if you have read Julius Caesar, where I think Cassius or Brutus says to Cassius, the fault lies not in our stars that we are underlings, but in ourselves. All right? So the idea is that the gods would shape the fate of humanity. All right? They would influence that, and they would determine human life. That is one of the ideas of Epicureanism. Also, what that philosophy highlighted was pleasure. And for them, the purpose of life was to satisfy the human being. So pleasure is the goal of life. That's what you strive after, all right?